Good evening, everybody. This is Jessica Johnston calling in from North Carolina. Thanks for joining us tonight. It is really exciting to see and hear about all of the brand new people that are dialing in this evening to hear about what it is that's going on, what's happening in your friends' lives and your family's lives in this company called Isagenix. And we are just delighted to share with you just some really exciting information tonight and just real stories of what's happening. We thank the people who invited you to this call. Hopefully we can, just give you a really good picture of what it is that we have going on, what the vision could be for you. Something has piqued your interest about Isagenix, whether it is the product, whether it is the opportunity to earn supplemental income for yourself or for your family. Something's piqued your interest, and really what we like to do on Wednesday night is have a different presenter come in each week and just share with you our story of where this all began, where this started, where it has ended up for us, and hope that it can just inspire you to see if this is something you want to take a look at going forward. This is a no-risk company. This is a no-risk industry, and for me personally, it was the best decision that I ever made. So what we want to do is just spend the next half hour, maybe 40 minutes, sharing with you. I'm going to share my story, if that's okay, and then I'd really like to get into 5 or 6 people that have had phenomenal experiences with Isagenix, and it has turned into something so big that we want to share it with you tonight and have you maybe take a closer look. So, after tonight, we ask you after the call, maybe go back to the person that invited you, ask additional questions if you have them. If we answer most of your questions, tonight's a great time to jump in with us and just see what this is all about and really experience it for yourself. And so, again, I'll introduce myself. This is Jessica Johnston, again, for those of you who are just joining. And I just want to start with my story and just tell you that my story is just one. It's just where I come from, what my life has been like up until this point. But on the line tonight, we have got all walks of life. We have got teachers. We have got lots of corporate executives, corporate America salespeople, technology-focused people. We have executive chefs on the line who do, 70 hours a week of executive chef. We have some of those joining us. We have people in pharmaceutical sales, nurses, we've got doctors, we've got chiropractors, we've got, I know for certain there's even NFL players on the phone with us tonight who are listening in and who are already using these products, but maybe are introduced, maybe a little bit more excited because they've been introduced to the opportunity and the money that comes here. And so, we also have young 20, 21, 22, 23-year-olds who are graduating from college who aren't sure what they want to do. There's not jobs, and they're interested to see what's going on tonight. So I welcome all of you, all groups that are out there. I hope that we can sort of touch on each of you in some way, shape, or form. But let me tell you about my story. I had first learned of Isagenix 4 years ago. I was not aware that this industry really existed. I wasn't aware of a product line in particular that could do what it was claiming to do in all of the research that I had done. And 4 years ago was not a good time for me to start Isagenix. I had very young children. I said no for 18 months to this company. I felt like I didn't have the time to devote to it. I wasn't just prepared to think about myself. My children were 6 months, 2, and 4 years old when I first learned of it. And I was also battling medical conditions that I had to be very, very careful and very selective about what I chose to use as a product line for my health. And so having children so young, also having 3 companies that we owned, all of that combined, I couldn't spend enough time to research this company. But over the course of 18 months, I learned a lot of testimonial and people that were using this product line, people who suffered from similar illnesses that I was suffering from that had remarkable, profound changes in their life. And it started to sound perfect. And sure enough, a year and a half later, I decided to say yes to this company. Somebody invited me to a call like this. They let me hear what was going on, and it sounded perfect. But I still wondered, how on earth can I fit this into my life, as I know so many of you are feeling that way. And so as I went through, I realized this was the product line. Why was this the product line for me to use? Suffering medical challenges. It was because it was the cleanest, the most organic, the highest integrity, most profound, most highly absorbable nutritional program, cleansing program that I could find. And I was able to eliminate several other companies. I looked at several companies that all claim to have, these wonderful changes. But time and time again, something steered me back to this, and the integrity really was what drew me. The formulation of this product line, the 25 doctors that were on staff formulating these products gave me such confidence in what I was getting into from a product perspective. Okay? And having dealt with that illness, I found that it's not just me, and it's not just the other survivors. Now that I have been in Isagenix for 2 years, I have witnessed thousands of people experiencing the same thing that I did in using the product line. That was fat loss, reducing my body fat percentage, and crazy increase in energy, completely different feel and energy, especially being a young mother. My mental clarity was different. My sleep quality was better. And all together, in general, by adding phenomenal, abundant nutrition into the body, this is not a diet. We aren't losing fat on this program because it's a diet. We're losing fat because our body is starting to detoxify itself and let go of the toxic impurity and the chemical that's in our body that's not supposed to be there. And as a result, when you release that from the body, as a side effect, we experience fat loss on this program. But for me, what happened was after 13 years of pharmaceuticals that I needed to control my illness, after 13 years of chronic pharmaceuticals, I came completely off of all of those forms of synthetic substances to treat my body. And the reason I'm speaking the way I'm speaking is because we want to be compliant here. We want to tell you that Isagenix is a food source. It's superfood. It's amazing nutrition that's loaded into the body. This is not a drug. This is not even a product where you can find added chemicals or added sweeteners. There's no soy. There's no artificial sugars. There's no corn. There's no fillers. Okay? It's all of the good and none of the bad. And so we can't say that Isagenix has claimed to cure or heal anything in my body per se, but we can say that I just started to use a nutritional cleansing program, and it ultimately allowed me to get off of my medication. And this happened 23 months ago, and to this day, I'm 23 months medication-free. And when that happened, after 14 years of a struggle, I had some very dark days. When that happened, I decided we really have something special here, because your life is completely changed when something like that happens to you. And I figured we have something that can help a lot of people. And I have used it. I have researched it, I have experienced it, and now I'm willing to put my name behind this and share this with everyone I can share this with. But I'll tell you, I was not interested in the business of Isagenix. And I can't even call it a business now. This is more of an opportunity. Look at it as an opportunity. I wasn't interested in that because it was more for me about health and something very near and dear to me. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I was intrigued by the fact that there were people who were making millions of dollars in this company. How are people making millions of dollars? But it's one of the things that attracted me to it, because I knew that if people were making millions of dollars, there had to be something valid about it. And sure enough, this product line's been validated for 13 years. Okay, but let me start with my history and why I wasn't interested in this as a business opportunity. I mentioned that I had 3 children. When I started this, my children were 2, 4, and 6. We were running 2 very successful upscale personal training studios that were first class, by appointment only, super successful in those businesses. So we were in the health and fitness industry. Before that, I spent 5 and a half years in corporate America in investment banking. And those 5 years of corporate America actually is what led to my diagnosis. I got sick there. I was working 60, 70 hours a week. I didn't know better in my early 20s, and I worked hard. And so when I left corporate America to heal my body, to get better after some massive surgeries, we as a family, my brother and I, decided to open some fitness centers and did just that. They had massive success. Well, over the course of 12 years, we did not endorse any product in that gym. And the reason we didn't endorse it is because most products don't work. And so after having tried pretty much everything, particularly my brother Adam had tried everything as a profession. You know, he knew every cleanse on the market. He knew every protein shake, every protein bar, every protein smoothie. He knew all of it because as a profession, he's supposed to know that so he can guide people. And sure enough, the two of us in secret got on the product because we thought we can't tell anyone we're doing this. If we tell people we're doing this, that means that we endorse it. So let's do it behind closed doors. But what happened changed everything. And now the result that we have is so incredibly common, and I can confidently say that after all these years. So in a matter of 8 days, Brother Adam, who's already a fit physique, flushes 12 pounds of toxic impurity, excess water, excess fat out of the system, completely naturally, completely safely. In a matter of 20 days, I flushed 11 pounds out as a female that was exercising every week. I still had 11 pounds to flush. I had no idea. But what happened was we stepped foot back in the gym, and no one could believe the transformation. And we decided that was going to be the first product in 12 years. We felt amazing. We decided to endorse this product, and we enrolled half of our members in the next few weeks after that. Whether we liked it or not, they were going to come and get Isagenix. We decided we'd be somebody that would let them. But I decided I don't have time. How am I going to get to all these people in the gym? Adam was running the business. I had the kids at home and the other businesses. How am I going to get this done? And so I went back to the person who sponsored me in this program, who come to find out later was the number one income earner in the world in this company. Now, when I enrolled in Isagenix, I didn't know this. I didn't care. I never asked. It was never told to me. But all of a sudden, I have a need to get product to our consumer, and I have to figure out how to do it. So I went back to the man, Herb Cepeda, his wife, him and Patty Cepeda, introduced me. I went back to them, and I said, I do not have time for this, but everyone in my gym wants this product. How do I get it for them? And he said, do you trust what I'm going to tell you? I said, yes. I literally did whatever he said. Why? Because I found out he was making millions of dollars. And I know that if he's making millions of dollars, he knows what he's doing. And so I literally did that. I did exactly what he said out of the sake of not knowing what I was doing, not having time to ask, no time to research the compensation structure that goes with this company. I didn't know how to make money. I just did what he told me to do. And over time, it obviously started to add up. And so I come to you today in Isagenix as somebody with no experience and no time. And if anybody knows me, you're laughing right now because you know that I'm one of the busiest people on the planet, and I came into this with probably feeling like a lot of you. I don't have time for this, and I certainly don't have experience. So how can I have success with this? Those are the exact same questions that I was asking, and all I did was duplicate what the really successful people were doing out of the sake of not having time to ask the questions. And so we went on to endorse this. We kept this very, very simple. We were opening accounts for people. We were shipping the product to their door. They were having the same transformations. Everyone in the gym started shrinking. And we've been working out on the same treadmill with these people for the last 8, 10, 12 years, and we all look the same. And here you go, in a matter of 2 weeks, everybody just had body fat melting away like crazy. You know, when we added up the whole gym, it was 400 or 500 pounds just in the first few months with this. And so what I started to ask about was, why am I starting to see this kind of money? What is it that I'm doing that I'm seeing a lot of money coming in? You know, this is exciting. We're enrolling a lot of people, but I'm hitting these bonuses I didn't even know existed, and I would get a $1,000 check for 1 week, and I didn't even know how I did it. And I started to just ask those questions and get more serious about it. And I paused, and I took a harder look. And what I saw was why I'm here today. I already knew the product worked. I witnessed it on myself and then started to witness it on 40, 50 clients at our gym. Same thing was happening. Gym owners were calling me all over the Southeast saying, why did you choose this product line? We see that you're endorsing it. There's so many products. Why did you endorse it? Next thing I know, I've got 13 more gyms that want to be a part of this. They started to see the compensation plan, how lucrative it was, how simple it was, how genius it is. I can tell you this compensation plan is genius. How we make money at Isagenix sharing these products, it's genius. And so as I dug a little bit deeper, we started to shut down one of my businesses. We were thinking of shutting down the second business. What I was discovering is that I started to make more money with this company of Isagenix without the experience, not really knowing what I was doing, started to make a very large supplemental income. This company is debt-free. This company right now is 13 years old, 13 years validated. The owners of the company are experienced. They're experienced in this industry. I'm not going to get into tonight how this company was founded, but that story in itself is just amazing. What really intrigued me, coming from a finance degree, an investment banking background, what really intrigued me about this company, and also having been an entrepreneur, was the timing of the company. Timing is everything. So you combine a validated product that you'll be very, very proud to endorse, very proud to put your name behind, but you combine that with founders who know what they're doing, and it's so well managed, explosive growth. Right now we're at a 64 or 65% growth rate. We've been at a steady 50% or above growth rate for several months now. But the timing of coming into a company, particularly in this industry, and what is this industry that I'm talking about? This is an industry of networking. It's an industry of using a product and using a referral-based system and telling your friends and family what it is and why you look different and why you feel better. You know, starting right with my mother and my father who has high blood pressure, high cholesterol, no longer does, of course, mother who's a cancer survivor just out of chemotherapy. I felt so comfortable sharing this with them because I knew the integrity, I knew the safety behind it, and I knew what it would do for them. And sure enough, they had the results as well. They still use the products 2 years later. But with my investment banking mind, I flew to corporate headquarters and I said, tell me why I'm off my medication because I feel amazing, but also tell me about the timing of this company. Tell me what the vision is. What's the potential? And what I learned is that this company is going small to big very fast. We hit a phase called momentum. We are just launching into this phase of momentum. And any company that can go through this type of growth year after year after year and sustain that growth and get stronger and stronger. The numbers are amazing. I'm not going to go through all of them tonight, but just know that within our first 15 years, we will be $1 billion a year company. So for those of you who have the business mind, $1 billion a year for a referral-based company. It's unheard of. Every other company of its type took 30 or more years to reach $1 billion in sales. Isagenix will do it in its 15th year, and we're already on track. And our 14th year, we'll finish at $700 million, and the year after that, we'll finish at $1 billion. Okay, so what I didn't realize when I purchased my product that day, what I didn't realize was that I bought a piece of real estate in a company that was growing by leaps and bounds. So fast you can't keep up with it. And when we started to work this business and we started to collect some of this income and we started to look at this vision, it just grew bigger and way beyond what we could have ever imagined. And so in buying that piece of real estate, I look back, I'm so happy I got in when I did. What that has created for our family, you know, as a mom and as a wife that was staying home just because the kids and my health and just running these other businesses, I always looked for a way to provide some sort of a supplemental income to my family. And I did that by opening other businesses. And that provided us what we needed. But what was really difficult for me, and this is where the big, big difference came in with Isagenix versus the businesses that we owned and those other forms of income. I sound so busy even talking about it. I can't believe I'm talking about myself. It's exhausting to hear of everything that I was involved in. But what happened was, when you're owning your own company, you are trading your time for money. It's leveraged income. In order to make that income, we had to be there. I had to be present teaching private swim instruction and being at the gym. We had to be present there to make money. And all that meant was more time away from our family. So I would spend summers teaching private swim instruction in a highly lucrative business, but I was with other people's kids instead of my own. And it started to really eat at me. And when I discovered that Isagenix offered more potential income than doing that and working a quarter of the time, half the time, call it, but I was able to be home doing it and picking and choosing my hours that I wanted to do this, it can't beat anything else. What we have in Isagenix is something that's part-time that creates more than a full-time income. We choose our partners that we want to work with. We choose people we want to get on these products, which is pretty much everybody because the whole country needs to be on it. That product call is for another night. But so, I decided this was the way to go. This was a form of residual income. It was something that you built over a period of time. Slowly but surely, one by one, I just started pulling people into this business. I thought of people who would be great at this. We thought of other trainers. We thought of other fitness professionals, NFL friends that we had, Olympic swimmers, friends and colleagues from the investment bank that I knew weren't happy there. They're 13 years. They're still there. And I started calling these people saying, do you really want to do this the rest of your life? Like, did you want to do this for 30 more years, 20 more years? I've got something amazing. Not only do I feel great, but come in and take a look at this. Within 4 months, I was earning $1,000 residual a week in this company. We are paid weekly in this company. It's brilliant. Every Monday, we get money loaded on our card. $1,000 a week at 4 months. Right at about 7 months, I reached a six-figure income with this company. I was earning about $3,000 a week in my 7th month. And I really started to share this with all of the people I knew that were working really hard, whether it was owning their own businesses or maybe working in corporate America. And I started to say, guys, I'm making a six-figure year income at $3,000 a week. I'm with my kids every day. I go to every gymnastics and every carpool. And here I am working maybe 15 hours a week, maybe some weeks 20, 25 hours if I had a lot of time to do it that week. But I wasn't doing parties at my house. I wasn't doing, there were just things I wasn't going to do when it came to Isagenix. And so one by one started pulling people into a six-figure year income. I am right at the 2-year mark with Isagenix, just over 2 years. I am averaging now, because of this residual concept of bringing people in and building volume on teams and sharing this product naturally, organically with people, I'm earning about $14,000 a week right now. I closed out this past October. We just closed the books on October. I made over $55,000 in October. It looks like for November I will definitely make $60,000 in income. And if you want to look at the big picture and where I came from in the beginning with how are people making millions of dollars in this company, it's all the reasons I just told you. People are excited. They're happy. It's a fun environment. It's stress-free. You're changing people's lives. The money is lucrative. The compensation plan is simple. It's easy to follow. You can build this in the pockets of your life because you don't have a lot of pockets. And so, the millions of dollars. Well, it looks like in just under 2.5 years with this company, I will have earned $1 million cumulatively with this company. And if you asked me 2 years ago, do you think you could be a millionaire with this company? No way. Million? You're talking about $1 million. And by the simple process of duplicating what was done before me, we are going to have accumulated $1 million from this company. And where that transition really took place was when I got really comfortable with endorsing this company, this product, this industry, claiming it, owning it, and telling people, this is brilliant. and I can be home with my kids. I can retire my husband in a few years. He can be home before our daughters are teenagers, and we can raise them together. And so that's just a really motivating factor. And so I ask you, go out and look what motivates you. What excites you about this? Do you want to help people? Do you know people that need to feel better? Do you know people that need more money? In all of those scenarios, we have the solution. We have it. And the company makes it possible. All we do is introduce it to people and show them how to get it. And the company gets it for them. So I'm not in sales. I'm more like a storyteller. I'm more like an educator. Let me tell you my story, show you what we do, and come in, join us if you want to try it. If you don't like it after 30 days, you don't like the product, chocolate doesn't taste good, whatever, which it doesn't, it's amazing, return it. You don't have to do anything. But the whole part for me is get your piece of real estate because this company is booming right now. I cannot keep up with the volume of people who want this product right now, and it's so exciting. So what I want to do is stop talking about me and really turn it over to some other people. In my heart, I really feel like if I can do this, anyone can do this. Anyone can do this. Your experience in your life, what drives you, what motivates you, all of that together is going to create something for you that you can bring in here. And anyone can do this. It doesn't matter how busy you are. We just go one person at a time, and we'll show you how to do it. We show you how to very simply max out the amount of money that's available to you in just a really professional group of people in a great way. But I want to introduce 5 other people. None of these people had experience like myself. Nobody else had experience in this industry. And what I want to tell you about all 5 of them, they are outpacing my earnings. They're outpacing me. And so if I earn $1 million in the first 2.5 years, these guys are probably going to do it in 18 months or less. $1 million. And these are everyday, average people with a lot going on. And I'll let you hear from them yourself. But let me go ahead, and I actually want to go ahead and start with Erin. Erin, we've got a lot of teacher salary. We kind of know what's going on with that. Erin, you are working at 4 times as fast as I did in this business. Love to welcome you to the call and just tell us what your experience has been in a nutshell with Isagenix. Welcome.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
We can.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So, I was a teacher for 10 years, and I always figured that that's what I was going to do for the next 30 years of my life, and I loved teaching, but we all know that teaching's not what it used to be, and we obviously don't go into it for the money. And I would work 12-hour days and get paid for 7.5 of those hours. And again, the pay's not that great. And so 4 years ago in August, we adopted our second son. So my plan was to take off from teaching for about 6 months and go back that January. But my son needed some extra support and a lot of therapies, and so we made the decision at that time that I would stop working. And that really put a huge financial strain on our family. But, we had to do what we needed to do. So I started to look for some extra ways in the meantime while I was home to make some extra money. I started making cake pops, which I really liked doing, but it took a lot of time, and I didn't get paid a lot of money doing it. I got into some other network marketing companies. I, was selling some Pampered Chef, and I got into some makeup companies, and I loved it. But, the compensation plans weren't that great, and I didn't know too much about network marketing. But, again, it was just kind of extra cash to get my hair done, not enough to sustain an income. So, anyway, the plan was always that when my son started kindergarten, I would have to go back to work. And so this past September, he started kindergarten. So basically last spring, my husband and I started talking about, having to go back to work. And I could not even bear the thought of going back to the classroom. I love the kids, but I don't like what teaching has become. I didn't want to be gone all day. I really feel like my kids need me at home at this point. And so I told my husband that I would go work at the grocery store while the kids were gone at school. And then that way I could still be home. So basically, I got into Isagenix in May myself as a product user. I, too, had some medical issues and had trouble losing weight that I had gained. And my friend Adrian told me about this awesome program, all natural. My kids could do it. So I was willing to take the risk, and I jumped in, and I had a great transformation, and I couldn't keep my mouth shut about it. So basically started sharing about 3 weeks after I started the program. And after about the second month, I was already getting close to what I was making with my monthly teaching salary. And my husband kept saying, when are you going to go into the grocery store and go look for a job? And I was like, I don't know, I will. So again, by the third month, I had surpassed my teaching salary. That was at the end of August. And into September and October, I have now tripled my salary. Needless to say, I'm not at the grocery store. I'm not teaching. I can stay home. I get to get my kids off the bus. I can help them with their homework. I can go into the classroom and volunteer whenever I want to and have lunch with my kids. And this really has completely changed our lives, not only physically, because, again, we did start out, again, totally like Jessica for the product. But I can't wait to be a millionaire with this company. I knew Jessica's story when I first came in. I knew her product story, and I knew she was making a lot of money doing it. I didn't even think about the money, and it kind of just started rolling in, and it really has been an amazing journey, and it's only been about 5 months. It's crazy.
Erin, awesome story, totally relatable. Girl, I have nothing else to say. You're just unbelievable. You're going to have an unbelievable experience in this program, and I just can't wait for you. You're doing so well now. I just can't wait for you to see where you are 6 months from now, because I know what you don't know, and I just can't wait for you to be there with us. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Let's go on to Elizabeth, and then I'll get you, Todd. Elizabeth Leconey, love your story. Recently retired. Just soaring through the company, really has become a beautiful leader within our company, and can't wait for you to share. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Awesome. Well, good evening. Yes, my name is Elizabeth. So here's the deal, guys. I came into Isagenix 18 months ago, but only for the products. I had no desire whatsoever to build a business. I worked 40 hours in my 9 to 5. I have 2 young boys, and my husband at the time was a police officer, so he was working really crazy hours. So I could not, in my right mind, think, how in the world am I going to have time to build a business? And it didn't really feel like something I wanted to get involved in. I was really more focused on the health part. So I spent a large chunk of my time, actually the first 8 months, just focusing on the products, which was fine, which is important. But around 8 months in, I started to evaluate the financial status in our family. My husband and I, ever since marriage, we have lived in massive credit card debt. We have lived paycheck to paycheck. If we wanted to go on a trip or go do something fun, we always had to put it on the credit card, which always created the credit card debt. And so we would spend our days at work, and we would come home stressed and drained emotionally and physically. And when we'd have conversations several times a week thinking, is this it? Like, is this what we're going to do the rest of our lives? Are we going to feel this way after our days? And we're going to feel this way for the next 30 years until we retire, and then pray that we have the money to sustain retirement. And so that was the turning point for me, because in January of this year, I made a decision that I was going to investigate into this business. I was going to look for another opportunity, and I was going to take all the negative connotations I had about this industry and really understand what it was about, and I was mind blown. So what I did was I took all of the negative things that were coming my way, the people who were saying you shouldn't do it, you couldn't do it, and instead I was saying I'm going to do it. And so I made a decision to align myself with people who wanted the exact same thing that I did, people who wanted a different way, people who wanted help, people who needed extra income. And I aligned myself with those people, and I started to help them increase their health, change their health. And through that, I started to see how that translated into income for me and for my team. And it was mind-blowing to me because after a while, I started to gradually see things that were happening in our financial situation. We were able to put our son into private school. We were able to go on vacations without putting it on the credit card. In July of this year, by a pure miracle of this company, we paid off $10,000 worth of credit card debt and are now credit card debt free, which never in the world would have happened this fast if it weren't for this opportunity. And then finally, in September of this year, I had watched my income with this opportunity match my corporate income of 11 years. But in September, I watched it exceed it. And I walked in and I gave my resignation to my 9-to-5 with complete confidence that my business with this opportunity would boom. In that exact same month that I left, I tripled what I made in my corporate income. So in October of this year, last month, I earned $15,000, which is exactly what I would have made if I had done that for 3 months in my career, my 9-to-5. So, you know, my financial transformation really boils down to this. My husband and I have always financially struggled, and we always joked that the only way that we could financially get out of debt or feel free would be to win the lottery. Well, our chances of winning the lottery are 1 in 175 million. Believe me, I've actually looked it up because we would joke about it. But thankfully, Isagenix turned out to be our lottery because with this opportunity, there are no limits. It's actually to feel success. There are no limits whatsoever. You know, in 2014, I was able to retire myself, be home with my kids. In 2015, I will retire my husband. We will be home together, and we'll be able to live this life along with helping other people. And I'm just so glad that someone cared enough to tell me about this because it has absolutely, truly changed my family's life.
Awesome. Elizabeth, thanks for opening up about your income like that and being so vulnerable and just sharing that because I feel like there's probably a lot of people who can relate to that. So appreciate you sharing. Thank you for being on the call. I want to shift into Todd Lotich. Todd, welcome to the call. Excited to have you. We have one of our two very, very successful corporate men. One of these men actually was an executive chef out on the West Coast who was working 70 hours a week as most executive chefs do. Started to really explode a business, was able to stop that job, move back to the East Coast, get married, stay home with his family, work as just a part-time caterer now, and just really build this business. And so that was one of them. But before we do that, Todd, I wanted to go ahead and let you talk about just your corporate sales background and how this is probably a little bit different, and the fact that your wife was out, you know, she was the one out doing Isagenix until we could get you to the point where we could get you home with your 5 children at home. Welcome to the call.
Hey, yes, thank you, Jessica, for having me on. And can you hear me okay?
We can. Perfect.
Excellent. So, yes, my name is Todd Lotich. My wife is the beautiful Delilah Lotich, who I'm sure a lot of you have heard the name. I'm very fortunate to be married to a woman that is very driven and actually luckily very stubborn as well, because we came upon Isagenix on the health benefit much like Elizabeth did, and of course I'm the guinea pig when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I got to drink 6 first and do the cleanse first, and I had an amazing product reaction. 27 pounds in 30 days. My knees started feeling better. I'm an old athlete, so I've got some banged up joints and bones and muscles that still ail me today. Having the proper nutrition makes your body just feel so much better in so many different ways. So this was something that we had this amazing product reaction. Then my wife looked at it after she met the lovely Jessica Johnston and said, there's a business behind this. So my wife started dabbling with this a little bit. I was traveling a lot. I was a corporate sales trainer. I also ran a territory myself in most of the Southeast. So I was traveling quite a bit while my wife was doing this with our 4 fairly young children. Then we got pregnant. So then I had to get even more into my job, try to find out more income while my wife actually had to go on to bed rest. She actually built this company that we now enjoy together from the bed. That's the amazing thing about this. That's where anybody can do this scenario, is that we were able to structurally build a business on the side while I still maintain the income that was supporting our family. So, of course, in the halls of corporate America, network marketing is a joke. Network marketing, you don't make any money doing network marketing. You don't make any, you can't go anywhere with network marketing. That's insane. But when I got down to it, the need surpasses anything that I've ever worked with. I was in a technology company before. We did LED stuff. So, the need for LED is so small, it's just a luxury item. The need for proper nutrition, the need to feel better, the need to make money is there in everybody's life. So now I'm looking at the demand is really big there, and we're actually having this business start to grow and grow. We're starting to have, 100 people, 200 people. Now we're up to 3,000 people on our team. That's an amazing team that I love speaking with people every day, and then I get to hear stories about people and their product experiences. And when you can have a business that you would do for free, it's not like working anymore. So that's one exciting thing that I love about shifting out of corporate America. And I was never built for this. And this is who I'm talking to. If anybody's on this phone, you guys ever don't like going to work on Monday? You don't like having to answer to somebody? You don't like fitting in this little box? That's what always drove me crazy about corporate America. I was always the kid that got in trouble in school because I didn't like listening to the rules. I didn't like all this. I'm not a bad guy. I just like kind of doing things my own way. I'm very social. I like to get out and learn about people's lives. That's why this makes so much sense for me and my family. Now I'm home. I get to travel with my wife as we go and do presentations and talk to people and help people grow their teams. And that's so much more rewarding in my life now than it ever was before. So it's like a breath of fresh air. And oh, by the way, I'm going to be a millionaire. That's something even more exciting because I'm willing to do hard work for the next 3 to 5 years to make up income that I would have never made in 50. Working for somebody else, listening to somebody else's time. The thing that was a catalyst for me that really made me say, all right, let's try this network marketing thing out, and I never turned back, is when I had to ask permission for my youngest baby to be born. Not ask permission, but ask for me to be there. I had to put in time, fill out a time card. Oh, you only have 48 hours that you've accrued over the year, sir, so you can only have 2 days off to go sit by your wife who's a C-section, so she's there for 5 days. So I'm sitting here I'm only allowed 2 days off after my baby girl was born. So, yes, I turned in my resignation. I probably lit that bridge on fire, but it felt so good when I was able to say, you know what, I've got something else. I'm going to go entertain that. And we dove into it, and it's just an amazing ride. So, that's kind of my quick story. Jess, thank you for letting me share.
Todd, that's awesome. So you're retired at home with your wife and 5 children, and you are 33? Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
I just love that. And I loved watching you on Facebook. I love social media. I loved watching you on Facebook that week that you retired. You were at Carowinds. You were on the golf course. You were driving down the car singing songs with your kids. And it was just so fun to watch. And we all felt your freedom. It was like we just felt your freedom. And we also felt how hard it was for you to have 48 hours off when your baby was born. And so it was so nice to go from that one emotion to that completely opposite emotion, and the fact that your wife did this literally, Delilah, I remember there was 18 weeks she could do nothing, and, except we were texting, and, she was working through social media and all of her connections and literally using a telephone laying in her bed, and she built this 6-figure-a-year business. And I'm excited to see where this goes for you guys. So thanks for bringing that perspective on from the father that's at home, and we just love hearing it. Thank you. Okay, Elaine, if you're available, we'd love to hear a quick synopsis from you. We come from the same place in that banking industry. Elaine, are you with us?
I am.
Hi,
welcome. Here. Can you hear me? Thank you. So, thanks to Jess, I'm actually here. She and I spoke one day at gymnastics, and I came in as a product user like so many. There was no way I was going to tell anybody. I was just trying to get my health back, and within 3 days, I felt amazing, and within a week, I decided that I should tell somebody. I worked full-time in corporate America. I was a technology geek. I still enjoy my technology geekiness, but now I do it whenever I want, and I get to do it from my home. And I, in January, retired from the bank after 15 years, and as of last week, I almost doubled my bank salary. It has been an incredible ride. I'm so proud that I spoke to those first few people and got over that uncomfortableness of sharing this amazing thing that we have. It has been 19, 20 months since I said yes. And again, I was not saying yes to making money, but what we always say that weight loss is a side benefit. Well, making over a six-figure income has definitely been a side benefit for me. I've had the opportunity. My daughter has been not great and has been home, and I've been able to be home with her every day, and I haven't had to ask for a time off. I'm not sitting in a cube. I'm not, there's no bosses, and we still get recognized on a corporate call, which is just incredible. Here we don't report to anybody, but they still honor and respect everybody that is sharing this gift of Isagenix. So I'm just grateful to be here and grateful that Jess spoke to me.
Awesome. Thank you, Elaine. I love it too, because Joanna's been having some things and you get to be home. And you know, there's nothing better than that. You can't trade that, you know, for anything. And so, you know, we're hearing a lot of big numbers tonight. It's actually interesting. The more I listen to people, you know, I really was just picking the people to speak tonight that, you know, maybe weren't working a 9-to-5 job anymore. But this is a company that you don't have to go after the millions, you know. I mean, maybe you think I'm crazy for saying that, but the money is the bonus. You know, sometimes the money's the bonus. The health is coming first for a lot of people. The money's the bonus. And so this could be a $500 a week opportunity for you. This could be a $200 a week opportunity for you. It's $1,000 a month. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, whatever your number is, if you just want to use the product and do it for free and never have to pay for it, send a couple referrals to the company each month, and you're going to do this product line for free. For some people that are on the call, that's all they're doing. They're just doing enough to get free products so they can always use it, you know, and never feel like it's part of the budget necessarily. It's just a food source. You're spending the money on the food. And so some people want the big numbers, some people don't. And so you come in, you do what you want. Not everybody has to shoot for the stars, but if you want to shoot for the stars, we know how to tell you to get there. I want to have one more guest tonight and wrap the call because I respect your time, guys. I appreciate that you've stayed on the phone with us this long. And I just want to wrap with Renee, and then I'll just say goodbye here at the end. But Renee is another 13-year corporate America veteran who made a decision to stay home with her boys after some medical issues and a great product transformation. But anything else different, Renee, that you can offer for us tonight about your position? Welcome to the call.
Thanks, Jess. So I guess, you know, everyone talked about their different experiences. For me, like you had briefly mentioned, I came into Isagenix with zero intentions whatsoever of taking advantage of a business opportunity. I had a fabulous job with fabulous benefits. I was making great amount of money. I was making six figures. And while I was always envious of those who could stay home with their kids, I just never thought that was going to be a reality for me. And I think, you know, that speaks to a lot of people that are probably on this call. You know, whether it's something you've thought about or something that you think about, it's something that can be a reality if you want it to be. And you just have to open up your mind and you have to ask yourself, you know, what if life could be different? What if you could have time freedom? What if you weren't trading time for money? And realize that you can have those things if you want it. It took me quite a while to embrace the opportunity side of Isagenix. And really what kind of, I guess, catapulted me forward was my husband was getting his MBA. He was set to graduate last December, and I knew that within 6 months of him graduating, we were going to have to pay back $35,000 in student loans, and we were living paycheck to paycheck, like so many people on this call have already talked about. And I had no idea with 2 daycare payments, living paycheck to paycheck, and then adding in this huge loan repayment every single month, how I was going to do it. And I was paralyzed. I was absolutely paralyzed by that thought. I knew that my cost of living salary increase or whatever I was going to get wasn't going to cover that. And even though I was working as a sales manager, I wasn't making, these crazy commissions that, sales reps were making. So I finally just opened up my eyes and I went, I jumped in feet first and started sharing with everybody and anybody that I knew. And this turned into just such a huge blessing in our lives. We were obviously able to replace my six-figure income as well as exceed it. And that has provided a generous cushion for us. We are now repaying his loan without any concern, without any pressure, without any stress. And I set a goal for myself. I set a goal around March of this past year that I was going to retire so that I could be home for my son on his very first day of kindergarten and watch him get off the bus. And I worked really hard to get to that goal. This is network marketing. We work. So there's definitely a work component here. However, the rewards that you receive are so huge. To be able to see my son walk off the bus and run into my arms and be so glad to see me, there's nothing in this world that could replace that feeling. And to know that Isagenix was a vehicle that got me there, the hard work, the health, the transformations of helping other people's lives, ultimately the rewards were just so royal. I mean, it rewarded me to be able to be home with my son that I was helping other people. So, I encourage everyone, it's not really about you. It's about who you can help, and then ultimately that is going to reward yourself. So now I have the privilege to be a full-time mom with part-time hours. I make my own schedule, whatever I want. I do what I want, with whoever I want, whenever I want. And I'm making way more than full-time pay. And I will make way more than I have ever in my life imagined I could make because of this absolutely amazing opportunity. So I know we've been lengthy and long, and so I want to wrap it up with that. But, I'm going to pass it back to you, Jess, so that you can close it on up.
Awesome, Renee. Thanks for sharing. Different stories, but hearing a lot of similarities too. And, if anything was inspiring, if there's any point in your life that you're interested, go back to the person that invited you to this call and learn more. Learn more if you need to. Maybe you don't need to. But, pull the trigger. Get ready to go, and we can make this whatever you want to make it. We'll teach you to whatever extent you want. You want to work slow, you want to work fast, you want to not work at all, you want to sit back, you just want to use product, whatever it may be. Jump in with us. We're such a fun team, group of professionals, obviously, if that hasn't been noted. But we just love to grow this team even bigger, and I feel so comfortable because I know the people that have been invited tonight, and I know how much the person invited you would love for you to take a look. So thanks for joining, guys. This was an hour of your time that we appreciate so much, and we look forward to having you as our guest, because 6 months from now, some of you on this call will be our guest on this phone, and you will be telling us about your experience and telling us your story, and we can't wait to hear what your story is. So start building it tonight, and we look forward to having you, and we look forward to meeting you new guys that are coming in. Everyone have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.